Hi guys, we're going to make a sidestep card today. This is the one we're actually going to make in this video. I love sidestep cards. They kind of create this little scene or 3D view of a little world, and you can obviously make whatever world you want. I had some stamps that I thought would be fun. It says men and fish are alike. They both get into trouble when they open their mouths, and I thought it was just a funny little card to send to a friend. It sits up really nicely up on the desk. It is just really a neat little thing. This video is going to focus on creating the sidestep card and also creating these elements. I'm going to call them hanging elements, and also modifying our stamps a little bit to make this work. So I hope you'll tune in and watch and enjoy. I was shopping and I found this die that does the cutting for you. So now this makes this card very easy, fast, takes the guesswork out of it. I don't have to think so hard. I will link this information below. I've already die cut my cardstock. I'll show you how I fold that here in a second. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we know that this part here pops up. So I like to push this up and pinch it. And we know that this part goes down and then it folds up like an accordion, and actually the die makes it really easy and it folds really nice. I like that I didn't have to think about it, and because it's just a card base, you can decorate this a million different ways and do lots of different cards with it. So it's a really good find. Again, everything will be linked below. And while we got this here, I'm going to go ahead and use my cloud die to add some clouds here in the background. Stormy Sky Distress Ink, and it's darker than Baja Breeze. I think I like this better. It is a lot darker. And notice that I'm kind of angling the card so the clouds all look a little different, and turn it to get different cloud patterns. Kind of wanted a little bit more of that blue. There, just softens that up a little bit. Okay, and now we can come across. Let's see. I don't think we can go entirely across, because we're making a continuous scene. So now we want our sky to kind of go all the way across. I'm going to do it with just one more little bit here, but I don't think we're going to see that because that's where the waves are going to go. So very nice. We got that done, so we can let that dry. Right, to save some time, I colored a lot of this stuff off camera and fussy cut it. Just because I didn't want to bore you to death. But I did want to show you that when you're looking at the crab actually comes with this sign in his claws. I just cut that out. We don't need this because we're going to make our own sign, and I want to show you how I did that. What I'm going to do is with my lightest marker, which is E41, because if I make a mistake with my lightest marker, no big deal, right? I can fix that. So I'm going to start flicking in with that lightest color, and I'm kind of making the shape of my sign. So I don't want my sign to be super even, so I'm going to come out a little bit bigger here. Okay, I like that. So it's going to have this little point here at the top. It's going to have a little curve into it. I might make it a little bigger so that, there we go. Now I can go up to E42. And this is where we start making it look a little bit more like wood. So some of this stuff, you're going to flick long, short, short, long, short, short, long, I guess. And you're adding dimension to your sign. So this looks like it'd be broken. So then I'll do that and then follow that edge. So we're starting to look a little bit like a sign. Hopefully I'm still in camera here. Now I'm just going to put less, and I'm purposely not trying to go through the words here because I want it to be something you can read. But put the accents around the words here. But I'm just putting little streaks here. Give it a try. It looks a little scary. but I promise you it's a lot easier than it seems. Start with a real light color. I think that looks very sign-esque. As we cut around that, it'll be fine. But we need a pole for our sign, so we're going to use this edge here, and we're going to do the same thing. We don't know, so I'm just going to color the edge of this cardstock here, and then I'm going to put in wood grain. So randomly, just little ticks, different lengths. That's the key. Don't make it look, you know, like a pattern. And this, I'm coming in with my other color. And when it gets all said and done, I promise you it's going to look like a sign. So what I'm going to do now is just cut around. And I purposely, like, I put a little dip in there. I want it to look like weathered wood. So don't try to be perfectly straight. That's why I cut it by hand. Don't use your paper trimmer for this. This is weathered wood. Yay! Sign. Same thing here. And I don't want that straight edge. So I'm actually gonna wiggling my scissors a little bit, making it look uneven. This is just some stick that floated up on the beach, right? So there we go. So now we can throw our little scraps away. And voila, we got a sign. All right, so now let's look at the other things that we fussy cut. And especially on this guy. The fishing line, if I cut straight against the line, obviously it would be too fragile and it wouldn't hold up. So I cut around and left some white space. But I didn't want, I don't know, this is my personal opinion. I know some people are totally okay with that. I didn't want that to be kind of the focus or distracting because the rest of the card, you know, is blues. So what I did was I went and got my Copic marker B52 and I just tested it. It matches the cardstock that I chose for this card. And now I'm going to go in here on the details where it's white, and I didn't want to cut too close. I'm not doing any shading because I don't want, it's not a focal point. I'm just trying to get this to blend into the background, and I'm coloring it to match the paper. Now I know that it's not perfect. It doesn't make it invisible, but I think it helps with the overall look of the card, and this way you also can you don't have to fussy cut the whole thing. So there's also a little piece over here, and then when I was fussy cutting this crab, his legs were just, I don't know, they're crazy. So I decided that I was going in here with E52, and we're gonna color the spaces in his legs so it's not crazy. All right, so I think that is all the little details on this. Let's take our card base, and I already die cut using some wave dies 2 pieces of navy cardstock, and this is 5.5. It's perfect. It only takes a half sheet of paper, and we can glue that here on the front. And I'm putting most of the glue right here down on this edge, because I want to stick my fisherman in there. So I'm just doing this to get the waves on. We can add a little glue here at the edges when we're finishing this up. So one of the things I like to do is close the card, push down. Okay, then we have our second wave. Nice. And so now we have this cute little ocean scene or river scene. I don't know, it's pretty rough out there. This fisherman's pretty brave to venture out. And we can now start sticking our characters in. So this fisherman dude, I stuck in here. So I'm going to put my glue in here to make sure that I'm not getting it all over the place. And then on the part where his bag, because part of him is going to hang off. I don't want to put glue on any of the parts that are hanging off because it will glue our card shut. So I'm going to slip him in here. see what I'm doing here. Slip him in here, and then I'm also putting his fishing line on the second step. And on the back of this, I'm putting a little drop of glue and then closing the card where that little puddle sits. From the front of the card, you can't see the puddle. That's okay. That was not the point of having that. I just wanted a place where I could put a dot of glue though, so I could anchor that to the card. So now we have our little fisherman dude. So let's put some fish in there. Let's add our little green fish. I use my tweezers. It'll be a little easier, I think. These pieces are small. So I'm putting a little bit of glue on the back of our green fish, and I decided I wanted him in this part of the card, so I'm going to stick him right next to the puddle. But I want him up high enough that you can kind of see his fin, so I'm going to raise him up a little bit before the glue sets. And kind of see him just a smidgen when you close the card, so you can see the tip of his head. Now I can take my sentiment, and I decided to put that over here. And I wanted to add our little yellow orange fish. Kind of looking at the beginning of the sentiment. So it's coming together here. Now we just have our little crab and our sign, which I think is dry by now. So what I did with the sign is I'm going to decide exactly where I want it to put. You don't want your sign to stick off the end here, because then it won't fit in an envelope. To fit in an envelope, you need to keep everything within the confines of a regular A2 card. But I also don't want to stick it right there under this, and then it makes it really hard to read. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, I didn't stick my tweezers under here a little bit, and put a squirt of glue. And I'm going to weasel my sign down so that the edge of this is kind of even with my card. I'm going to weasel it down a little farther. Okay, I think it's in there now. And I can kind of read the sign. It overlaps a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I could close the card. So I think that's the most important part. Just to make it a little easier, I'm using tweezers to hold him. And I'm going to put glue on the back of him. I don't think I'm going to put glue on his little claw. I'm not sure if that'll stick up or not. I think it is. It's gonna, kind of want him to mirror what he was doing on the other sign. So I'm putting his claw back the way he was holding that original sign that we cut off. So that was it. That was how easy it is to make a shaker card. It is a little bit you know, dealing with small parts, but I think it's worth it in the end. Look at the end result. And I really like this cloud versus my original one. It was too light. So I will put all the Copic colors. I'll put all the things I use. Oh, wait, one more thing. A little touch here is I'm going to take my white gel pen and create some bubbles. And on this navy cardstock, it shows up so well. So I just kind of stuck a couple dots here and there. See, put some over here. Thank you guys for watching. I love how this turned out. I hope you do too. I love how it stands up and creates a cool little 3D scene for the recipient. The hanging elements I think add just a little bit of a wow factor, and they're pretty easy to create. I hope you would agree. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys will tune in for another card video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.